G'day everybody, Ben Hughes here again. So today I'm going to be going over, I'll be going a little bit further in depth with the Hassets Four Corners and basically how you should do the Hassets Four Corners. How I think that the Hassets Four Corners is done easiest in different scenarios and variations of the Hassets Four Corners, such as the each way, the chaser, and just the standard balanced timing Hassets Four Corners, staggered. So I just wanted to sort of go a little bit further in depth to my original video that I put out on the Hassets Four Corners. So obviously, to start off with, as we all know, the Hassets Four Corners is a 2, 3, 4 trick done with either one whip or two whips. If you're cracking it with one whip, you can drop your hand down to the whip lower to the ground. But I find if you do that using two whips, you're not getting as much strength in the routine, and judges might look at it on behalf of it being a little bit low. I can remember many years ago a true Australian whip cracking ambassador, his name was Frank Scott. He once told me on my first attempt at the Hassets Four Corners at the Sydney Royal in 1999 that I was getting them way too low. They were down here, and although it was the Hassets Four Corners done with two whips, the way that I was doing it was incorrect. It needed to be high. As you can see, there's a big difference between cracking down here, my arm is here. Now still the same trick, but when you do it with two whips, you need to move the right arm this way. And here we go. There. And that's what makes it so difficult, because you've got two whips cracking coming very close together. It's the same thing with the left arm. You can do it fine, but once you start to bring in the right whip and do it together, it has to be closer to the side of your face, so to speak. So when you do them both together, you will notice terribly difficult trick, this one, especially on cement. But you will notice that the whip elevates off of the ground and you're defying gravity better, and that's what the judges would like to see. So let's just go over that again. A very good intro for this trick, a setup, like pre-four corner setup, would be coming off of like a Sydney flash sort of basis. So you go. Notice how close I've got the arms there, and the right whip is lower than the left. Now if you're left-handed, the left whip is lower than the right. So we go this way. That's very similar to how we do the chaser, just a moment. But yes, so it's okay to go like this and to put it into a combination. So once you're cracking the Hassets Four Corners together, you really want to keep those whips closer. Another thing that you can do once you're in that Hassets Four Corner momentum is you can do a double crack at the bottom. What I mean by that is you go like so. And we go. You can do a double crack at the top. So it goes like this. You can do what we call a windmill four corners, and the way to do the windmill is you start off just as if you're doing the sorry, right arm. You go one more time with the volley in the right arm, which permits this whip to go under, which pulls this one to the side. Now you watch. Let's just break that down. I'll stand to the side. So you watch this right whip. This one. So rather than going, I'm going in the right whip. As this one only does the one volley. Or passing rate if you like. So we go. And you'll notice as I'm doing that, this whip goes up, down, back to pair, and then the right whip goes up, back to pair. And what I mean by pair is the same level. So left whip goes higher, back. Right whip goes higher, back. This separates the routine. So one more time. And then go back into the original Hassets Four Corners. You just do a double flick, right hand. That sets you up back to balance timing. And it's like this. There we go. Drag it. So that's about it for the original way of doing the routine. Secondly, what we can do is a chaser. And how we do a chaser is we start off, well, I mean, there's 2 or 3 different ways that you can do it. It's based upon, it's very, very similar to a staggered crossing Sydney flash. What I mean by that is, like that, going to the left. But what you do, so we're going to the left, and it's almost as if you're going to be going like so. But obviously you're not going into the chaser. So this is the setup for the chaser. You go you will see as I'm crossing it over there, the left whip cracks first. And also you want to be putting it back slightly, about 7 inches backwards to fit the right whip in, if you know what I mean. So as it chases the left whip. So let's go again. One more time for you, really slow. And then into the trick. You can also do it this way, but basically you always want to crack that left whip first. But this other way is coming off of that bit there, and then following it with the right whip, so it looks like this. And that is another way of doing it. I'll just slow that down for you. So I think the easiest way to go to start the routine is by the staggered crossing Sydney flash. Also helps, I think, if you stand with the left whip to the the left foot to the front. It gives you in a better position where you're not so moving. Here we go again. So that not least, there's the each way. The each way is basically set, well, the way that I do the each way is set from like a crossing, Queensland crossover variation. And I said all along at the beginning of the video that you need to sort of keep your arms together. In this scenario, no. You need to bring them apart, not too far, but I find if you bring your arms apart, you can get more of a leverage on the whips to get it out of crack. Rather than keeping them too close, you're only able to use your wrists. But in this particular variation, it needs more of a leverage to sort of get it. And I find by separating your arms slightly, it gives you a little bit more power to get those cracks in. So I'll show you what I mean. So here we go. If I was doing that with my arms too close together, it would look like this. For love of money, I can't get any power in it. So you need to separate your arms, and then you'll get louder cracks. Once again. I hope this video was some help to you. I'm sure if you break it down and slow-mo and pick up the cracks, it's sure to be some help to you. Don't forget that the Hassets Four Corners is the most difficult trick that there is to do with two whips. Well, I think anyhow. So a lot of practice is on your way for this video, but just keep cracking away and it'll click with you. Hope you liked the video. Please share it with your friends. I'll see you all on down the road in the next video.